Broken alliances, the loss of 2 legendary queens, another sad casualty, the revelation of Sabi Sand's most precious cubs, and the quest to extend territory. All of that and more in this update. The 2 Blackdam males who appeared first in August 2021 and became permanent residents in the north of Sabi Sand in late 2022 came under enormous pressure after numerous clashes with rival coalitions. While the older brother only suffered superficial injuries, the younger of the 2 carried a serious limp by the end of May. After being separated for a couple of days, they reunited in Chitwa on May 28th. And early June, the older, uninjured brother was seen alone again, and shortly after that, he made an unexpected move, leaving Sabi Sand. He eventually ended up in the area that he had left 2 years prior. While he was dealing with an unfriendly welcome, questions arose what had happened to his brother. When the news broke that the last time he had been seen he was vomiting, a bad feeling took hold that he might be no longer with us. But fortunately he proved us to be wrong. After he had disappeared for more than 2 weeks, he showed up on a buffalo kill the Kambula males had made. Even though he wasn't welcomed, they weren't able to chase him away. His overall condition wasn't great, but considering his injuries, he seemed to have somehow managed to cope with the fact of being without his partner. At least his limbs seemed to have improved compared to the previous update. Towards the end of June, he had been seen on a buffalo kill with Mohawk and the Talamati Pride. The meal lasted for almost 3 days, and after the buffalo had been finished, they parted ways again. The Blackdam coalition faced a sudden end, and will never know what made them split in the first place. Another coalition that came to a surprising halt concerns Mohawk and his sons. By the end of May, Mohawk returned to the north, leaving his sons in Kruger. While he linked up with a portion of the Nkuhuma Pride, his sons became acquainted with a lioness, allegedly from the Mhangeni Pride, and started mating with her. All their mating efforts led to a separation of the brothers. While Chelas and Richno's boys continued to court the aforementioned lioness, Purple Eye's son found himself another girlfriend. Mohawk, on the other hand, followed his daughters from the Nkuhuma Pride and was seen with them until mid-June. They shared a buffalo kill in the west, which later had been taken over by Tumbela and the Nkuhuma male. A week later he came across the 5-year-old Talamati male when Mohawk was growling at him from his elevated position up in a tree. The encounter was brief, and a week later Mohawk was found with the Talamatis and the lone Blackdam male on a buffalo carcass in Malamala. Early July, Mohawk reunited with the entire Nkuhuma Pride, and shortly after that he was seen with his youngest son. His older sons, however, show no desire to return to their homelands. They are rather expressing their determination to become dominant in their newfound territory. Mohawk also doesn't show enthusiasm to join up with them, and at least for now he prefers to stick to his old stomping grounds. Troubling news reached us from the north when the Talamati Pride seemed to have lost another member. Only the adult lioness Tsalala and the young male were seen throughout June, but recent reports indicate that the young male has also been missing for almost 2 weeks now. When Malamala reported that 3 members of the Talamati Pride had been seen on the buffalo kill with Mohawk and the Blackdam male, it could have been one of the young Nkuhumas or even K12 who got mistaken for the missing Talamati lioness. There was also a report that Tsalala made a water kill with the young lioness on June 23rd. and just the day before, the 4 young Nkuhumas were in the same area in Mala. However, after the buffalo kill was finished, the young Talamati male was seen on his own. While there is still hope that the male is still alive, these hopes had been shattered by each passing week for the young lioness. We don't know what happened to her, she just vanished. But either way, it's a devastating loss, considering how far they've come. She and her brother had a tough life, since the other Talamati lioness and their father died last year. They had overcome hard times of starvation and turned into good hunters, and all our hopes that Tsalala and the young lioness would be able to rebuild the Talamati Pride sadly won't come into fruition. I salute this young lioness, wherever she is, may she have peace. But there's another twist in the story. Early July, Tsalala was seen numerous times with the Kambula lioness K12, hunting together and resting side by side. It's too early to get our hopes up, but we'll see what will become of them. Right now, she's back with her brothers, but it looks like her time has come to leave the pack. Her brothers had ventured into Mhangeni, where they clashed with the Naru Pride and just recently had an encounter with the Mbali Pride and their 11-year-old Pride male. When their sister reunited with them after she had spent some time with Tsalala, she was greeted with some aggression. Things calmed down when her littermate rushed in to save the day. The boys show signs of becoming dominant, and we'll have a close eye on them to see what their next move is gonna be. The third coalition who might have taken a break is the Tumbela and Nkuhuma alliance. Early June, the duo got into a fight with the strong Gijima males, which left the Tumbela male stranded and wounded in Ndzengha. His injury prevented him from hunting himself, and in order to get out of his dilemma, he stole a kill from the Mhangeni Pride. It took him a week until he eventually reunited with his partner. By mid-June, the duo took over a buffalo carcass which had almost been finished off by Mohawk and his daughters. When they left the carcass, they moved into Londolozi, where they stumbled upon the 5-year-old Talamati male. The Nkuhuma male, who had made friends all over Sabi Sand, had also spent time in the past with the Talamati brothers. The trio spent a couple of days together until Tumbela got either ditched or he left on his own account and eventually returned back into the western sector. Either way, in the meantime, the Nkuhuma male strengthened his bond with the Talamati male. We know that both of them are excellent solo hunters, but together they are unstoppable. They followed the buffalo herds further south and brought their hunting skills into practice. Tumbela, on the other hand, is a survivor himself, and he used the absence of the Plainscamp males to follow the Mhangeni Pride. The lionesses certainly were not happy to have earned his attention. Even though his overall condition has taken a dive, he is a survivor, and I'm sure he'll find a way to overcome the obstacles that are thrown at him. The Mhangeni Pride he had been following the last couple of weeks underwent dramatic changes in June. The old matriarchs, the mothers of the original Kambula lionesses, were suffering a significant loss of condition over the last couple of months. They both turned 15 years old earlier this year, and one of them was the mother of the youngest cub, number 10. Sadly, both lionesses passed away in June after a long, eventful life. They were the last direct descendants of the legendary Mapocho coalition. They raised 9 cubs to adulthood, sired by the Mhangeni, who had killed one of their fathers and 4 of their siblings. Their bloodline extends to the Kambula and Msuthlu Pride, which makes them one of the most successful lion prides in Sabi Sand. And to honor their history, I'm going to tell their story in one of the next videos. Despite losing their matriarchs, the Mhangeni Pride is doing okay. Even when the cubs are looking lean from time to time and fighting erupts over smaller kills, once in a while there's a big feast on the table where everyone will get their fill, and even number 10 is sporting a big fat belly. The Mhangeni cubs' fathers, who had prioritized their conquest in the north, haven't been seen with the pride since March. Mid-June, they were seen back in Ndzengha, announcing their presence, that this land still belongs to them. But like in the previous month, they spent most of their time in the north, moving back and forth between the Nkuhumas and the Ximunghwe Pride. The Ximunghwe cubs are stunning and beautiful, and considering they are just shy of their first birthday, they are really big. The older Ximunghwe lioness clearly isn't interested in mating and devotes all her time in the upbringing of the cubs. They clearly benefit from getting all the attention, and so far their future is bright. The oldest Plainscamp offspring, the 2 Nkuhuma Breakaway youngsters, make regular kills and were always seen in excellent condition. Their relatives from the Nkuhuma Pride roamed most of June into groupings. The one group who spends time with the Plainscamp males are Amber Eye's 2 daughters and Richnose daughter. They have fully accepted the Plainscamp males and share the waterbug kill with them. Pale Eyes leads the other group of 3 young lionesses and the young male. However, the young male's days are numbered. After spending some time in the presence of the Plainscamp males, he eventually got chased away. His sisters, on the other hand, are most likely going to be accepted by the new males, which makes their life much easier. Luckily for him, his father still cares, and who knows, maybe he'll take him back into Kruger, linking up with his older sons. After the Tsalala lioness has given birth early May, she finally introduced her 3 bundles of joy to the world. And since she brought them out of the den, it's been revealed that she has 2 girls and a boy. She is still hunting at daytime, and it won't be too long until we see her cubs feeding together with Mum. We wish her all the success in the world to raise her little ones to adulthood. The 2 lionesses who made it against all odds are the 2 Othawa girls. They kept quite a low profile in June, avoiding drama as best as they could. However, this week they found themselves followed twice by the Plainscamp males, when one sister slapped one of them courageously in the face. The males weren't overly aggressive with her, but this may signal that they might soon come into estrus. Further west, the Kambula cubs are getting bigger and stronger, and don't let an opportunity pass to test their strength. All of them are doing well under the watchful eye of their mothers and the Ndzengha males. Their younger cousins who live with their mothers in the Msuthlu Pride are about 7 months old now. but they are not the youngest any longer. K2 just revealed her newest litter of 4 cubs, which she was hiding on Campbell Koppies near Mala Mala main camp. The cubs had been introduced late June into the pride, and their fathers also came to greet their new offspring. Other than that, they went out of their way to protect their territory, and were even seen in Koro, which lays north of their borders. This may have come as a reaction to the territorial expansion of the Plainscamp males, who shifted their territory further north and east. On one incident early July, it almost came to a clash between the Ndzengha and the Plainscamp males. But thankfully, no one was harmed and the Plainscamp males turned back west. Further south, the Gijima males also came to a territorial dispute with their neighbors. The younger of the brothers was either incredibly brave or reckless to chase after the 4 Nkhulu males. At one point it even came to a physical confrontation when he pinned down one of the Nkhulus, but luckily no one got seriously hurt. After they got chased, the Nkhulus managed to chase the Gijimas back, which had been followed up by a thunderous roar. However, the coalition continues to operate in 2 groups, with 4 males establishing their territory in the southeast of Sabi Sand, while Nkhulu number 6 stays in Kruger. Apparently, there are some good news regarding Nkhulu male number 4, who seem to have reappeared in Kruger. However, I couldn't verify the day of this sighting. The southern Avoca male is hanging in there. He enjoyed the spoils of his buffalo kill for a couple of days he had made on May the 30th. Sightings of him were fewer in June, but that's not a surprise for a lone nomadic male who keeps a low profile. In the last update, I shared the sad news that one of the young Styx lionesses had been fatally wounded by the Msuthlu Pride early June. She was one of the older litters, and her mother was either the Birmingham daughter or the roller coaster lioness. What hadn't been known at the time, the Gijima males had intervened. They lay down beside her and guarded her, and not long after she succumbed to her injuries. As we mourn the loss of the young lioness, new life had been brought into the Styx Pride. The cubs were first seen at the beginning of July and appear to be 6 to 7 weeks old, and at least one of them is a male. The mother is the 7-year-old Birmingham daughter, and after losing 2 litters in a row, she will hopefully succeed. 2 of the young lionesses were seen in close proximity to the den site, which indicates that the new mother might get some help. Their brother moved around with the other 2 sisters, which brought them to Mala Mala and Londolozi. He is a beautiful male, and he'll hopefully find a companion he can travel with in the future. The Southern Pride kept a low profile in June, but all its members are doing very well. The latest news come from the Msuthlu Pride, which welcomed at least 2 new members. Every region except for the north is blessed with cubs of all ages, ranging from a couple of weeks to 1.5 years old. The number could even grow in the next couple of weeks, since 2 Nkuhuma lionesses are showing signs of being pregnant. I want to end this update with a count of dominant and nomadic males, which has dropped 30% compared to January this year. This may bring more stability to the region, but we all know how fast things can change. you.